All right, it's time for more in-season tournament action. We have got 6 games for the NBA here on Tuesday, November 19th. And we're going to start off with one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game so far of the NBA regular season. We'll get to that in just a minute, but we've got, again, 6 games for the IST, headlined, of course, by the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. Cleveland 14-0 going into this game against the reigning defending champions in Boston at the TD Garden. You've got some big games, too. OKC goes on the road to San Antonio, and the Lakers, of course, in the nightcap as well. Again, all in-season tournament games for all 6 here on November 19th. And folks, if you haven't yet, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. In about an hour, we will have, well, this will be coming on the channel later today, our college football predictions at about noon, about noon today, Pacific time. We'll have our college football predictions, maybe 1 noon. Somewhere around then. Our college basketball predictions, though, will be out in about an hour's time. And then our UFC Fight Night China predictions with Piotr Jan and Davison Figueiredo are already on the channel, and our NFL predictions are tomorrow on the channel as well. Now that we got that all sorted out, let's get into our 6 games today. We start things off here with the biggest game of the day, the Boston Celtics taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Guys, I'm not going to pick against Cleveland. It's that simple. I don't want to pick against Cleveland yet. They're 15-0, sorry, not 14-0. I refuse to pick against this team right now. I get it, Boston is 11-3, but they've lost games this season, and they have already lost an in-season tournament. They're 1-1 in this thing. They have to sweep the table to make the second round of the IST. They lost to Atlanta in their second game, they beat Brooklyn in their first. And again, you know what you're going to get out of Boston, but the Celtics just played a competitive game with the Toronto Raptors. It was obviously the game where Jason Tatum, hit that step back 3 to win the ball game for Boston. And again, Tatum's a really solid player. Obviously, he is a top 10, top 15 player in this league. The thing is, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best built roster right now in the NBA, maybe only behind the Oklahoma City Thunder when healthy. This is a great team. We talk about it every day, but Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert off of the bench. You get, again, other guys in the starting lineup like Isaac Okoro, like Dean Wade, guys who aren't going to score all the time, but play their role right in the starting lineup and let guys like Mitchell, Garland, and Mobley score. And again, when you add Okoro and Dean Wade, these guys, again, aren't your primary scorers, but they just do what they are asked to do in the starting lineup. Cleveland is right now the most complete team in all of basketball. They just are. They're undefeated for a reason. They are 15-0, and I get it. They're walking, of course, it right into the toughest team, or they're playing the toughest team in the NBA right now, I'd say, to go on the road and play in the Boston Celtics. I completely get that. Still, though, I like Cleveland to win the basketball game. Until they lose, guys, we're not picking against the Cavs. Again, is Cleveland going to go 82-0? Obviously, they're not. But I don't think the run comes to an end just yet. I don't think it does. Just the way this team plays, the way this team scores, they play excellent defense as well. It is really difficult to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2024. Right now, it just is. I like Cleveland to win this basketball game. I think they get it done on the road. And they find a way to shut down Jason Tatum. They shut down Jaylen Brown as best they can. And I like the Cavs to get it done, man. I really do. I like that Garland on Drew Holiday matchup. I like that Derek White likely versus Donovan Mitchell matchup for the Cavaliers. Again, this is going to be the big rivalry here of 2024 in the Eastern Conference. I'd expect these 2 teams to be the last 2 teams standing in the East this season. At least, barring injuries and looking at how the East is going to transpire, it looks like I think it'll be Cavs and Celtics. Again, we've got a long season to go. Kristaps Porzingis still has to come back from injury for Boston. Right now, I think Cleveland's the better team, and I think it's an absolute bargain that we get the Cleveland Cavaliers at plus money in this game. Give me the plus 4.5 dogs. Give me the Cleveland Cavaliers at plus 165 to go on the road and beat the Boston Celtics, pulling off the upset, but remaining undefeated and going to 16-0. Next up, we move on to our next game here in Brooklyn. We've got the Brooklyn Nets versus the Charlotte Hornets. Again, we don't pick against the Brooklyn Nets here because they're just too good of a team to pick against. Now, okay, they're 5-9. They actually have a worse record than the Charlotte Hornets, who are 5-8. But the thing with Brooklyn is, and we say it every day, they shoot lights out. That's just how Brooklyn plays. That's the thing with Brooklyn. They just shoot very well. And sure, they don't always win, but they have great night shooting. They're a really tough team to cover against. You get guys like Cam Thomas, you get Cameron Johnson, you get Dennis Schroeder, who stepped up this season as well, obviously, in the starting lineup. You've just got a lot of great shooters on this Brooklyn team. You got Nick Claxton to, again, clean it up on the glass. For Charlotte, I've said it time in and time out this season, and it's still true. They're a one-man show. It's all LaMelo Ball. And again, LaMelo Ball's an all-star in this league. He's averaging 30 points a game right now. He's averaging 35 and 7. He's an all-star. He is a premier point guard in the NBA because of the numbers he's putting up and because of the way he is simply putting Charlotte on his back right now. That's how well LaMelo Ball is playing. And again, we've got to give all the credit in the world to this guy. He is putting this team on his back. But Brooklyn is just the all-around better team. They don't have one guy. Well, no, they do have one guy who can take over the game like LaMelo Ball. It's Cam Thomas. In the clutch, I don't know if there's a better player in the NBA right now than Cam Thomas. I know that's a hot take, but watch Cam Thomas in closing moments. He always hits that big shot for the Brooklyn Nets. I'm just saying, he is the franchise here in Brooklyn. He is. So I would say the Nets have someone somewhat comparable to LaMelo as a player who can completely take over the basketball game. I like Brooklyn to win this game at home. I think they are able to cover the spread as well. We're getting, 3.5 for the Nets in this one. Again, I've learned one thing picking games so far in 2024. Don't pick against the Brooklyn Nets, okay? Even in games they're supposed to lose, pick them on the spread. They're too good of a shooting team to not cover, and now they're playing a team that's not as good as them. I think they're the better team between them and the Charlotte Hornets. Again, I like LaMelo Ball, but beyond Ball, what really do the Hornets have? That's my question. They don't. It's Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, who hasn't been that great this season, who's been dealing with injuries. It's, a lot of guys who've been hurt all year. Nick Richards has been hurt. I think, again, the Nets are the better team. They've been playing better basketball this season. I know they have a worse record, but give me Brooklyn to win this game at home and to cover the 3.5 points. Next up, we go to the FedEx Forum here in Memphis, Tennessee. We've got the Grizzlies taking on the Denver Nuggets. Memphis is getting 4.5 at home in this game. Why? Jokic probably still won't play, still dealing with that personal issue. He is questionable. If he was questionable going into the last Memphis game on Sunday, and he's still questionable for this one, I'm going to make the assumption he's not playing, especially the way Vegas has this game lined up, because if Jokic is playing, you'd get about even odds for this basketball game, but I think Vegas knows something we don't, and again, I feel like if Jokic is playing tomorrow, he would have something, better than the questionable tag for this game, especially because it's a personal issue and not, again, an injury. So I wouldn't anticipate Jokic playing this game. That being said, we like the Grizzlies a lot. Again, I picked the Nuggets in their last game on Sunday night because I was under the assumption Jokic is going to play. He didn't. The Nuggets without Jokic so far this season are 0-2. Back-to-back losses on the road to the Pelicans and to the Grizzlies. My question for you is what really changes from that first Grizzlies game? Jokic doesn't come back, and the Grizzlies dominated that first game against the Nuggets. They beat them by 15 points. Jaren Jackson has led their team in scoring every game in the last 7 nights. Jaren Jackson has been completely balling for Memphis. Great for him. I mean, he's found his shot. He's dominating down low. I mean, it is truly hard to stop Jaren Jackson, and especially when he doesn't have to be the only big on the court at all times. Of course, with the addition of Zach Edey, Jaren Jackson doesn't always have to play the low post for Memphis, and he's able to spread. He's able to spread the court, obviously, and shoot threes as well. I think the Grizzlies aren't that bad this year, man. Jaren Jackson's been great. When Ja Morant comes back, they're going to be even better. And especially, though, in this game, again, if Jokic is playing, I'll be honest with you, I would take the Denver Nuggets. I tend to try to not pick against Denver when Jokic is on the court. Just because that's how he changes basketball games. But with no Jokic, I do think the Grizzlies are the better team. All around, beyond Jaren Jackson, this team shoots phenomenally well. They do. Desmond Bane, who just came back. Aldama can kind of shoot at that point. Scottie Pippen. Hell, Jay Huff off the bench can score for them. They've got so many guys who can score on this Memphis team. I think they're better than Denver, especially a Denver team, again, without Nikola Jokic right now, without Aaron Gordon as well. Without Jokic, their starting lineup is Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Michael Porter Jr., Peyton Watson, and DeAndre Jordan. It's a brutal lineup. It's a really brutal lineup when you're trying to win basketball games. I think, especially with the, obviously Gordon's hurt too, but with the Jokic injury, it kind of points out how weak the Nuggets are this year without Nikola Jokic. I just feel like they are. I don't know. I don't think they're the team to beat right now in the Western Conference. I think it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. I just think it is. Give me Memphis to win at home here against the Nuggets. I think they get it done. We're taking Memphis to win and to cover the 4.5 points as well. Next up, we move on to Dallas, Texas. We've got the Mavericks at home here against the New Orleans Pelicans. Again, we have one rule here on the channel, official rule for the NBA predictions. We don't pick the New Orleans Pelicans. We just don't. Until they get their guys back, I'm not taking New Orleans to win a basketball game. But the thing right now is, literally, it's all Brandon Ingram. Yeah, Brandon Boston will contribute. I'll give them that. But no CJ McCollum tonight. Obviously, Zion's still out. The Pelicans just aren't very good. I watched the Lakers play their worst game of the season, even including their losses. in the Pelicans' last game on Saturday night, and the Lakers still found a way to beat the Pelicans. And the Lakers were absolutely abysmal in that basketball game. And I get it. The Mavericks have not been all that impressive this season. They won on a 4-game skid. They lost to the Suns. They lost to the Nuggets. They lost to the Warriors. They lost to the Jazz. But they've won back-to-back now with victories over the San Antonio Spurs, and on the road a huge victory against the Oklahoma City Thunder, albeit a Thunder team without their center right now in Chet Holmgren. That's fine. Dallas is putting together wins. Now it's time they blow out this Pelicans team. Again, on paper, Denver's the way better squad. That goes without saying. Obviously, with Luka, Kyrie. Again, they still don't have a true number 3. That's a problem. Regardless of that, I think the Mavericks are the better team in this basketball game. They've got a better bench. They got a better starting lineup. Where do the Pelicans beat this Mavericks team? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I mean, again, you're going to get big shots at points from Brandon Boston. You know, Brandon Ingram obviously is going to continue to produce for this team, but no Zion, no CJ McCollum, no DeJounte Murray. We are not picking the Pelicans until 2 of those guys come back. Okay? When 2 of those guys come back, I will consider picking the Pelicans again. Until then, they are on auto fade. We do not take the New Orleans Pelicans. They are right now one of the worst teams in basketball, and I mean that. Give me the Dallas Mavericks to completely put a whooping on the New Orleans Pelicans. The game's not close. Give me Dallas to blow them out. Again, there's a reason the spread is at, 11.5. We like Dallas all day long here at home against the New Orleans Pelicans. Next up, we go on to San Antonio, the other game in Texas tonight. The Spurs host the Oklahoma City Thunder. 8.5 is not nearly enough points in this basketball game. Why? Victor Wembanyama isn't playing. No Wemby, no victories for the Spurs. And they don't even cover either. They are not that good without Wembanyama. And it goes to show how good Victor Wembanyama is in his second year in the NBA. It does. But when Wemby doesn't play, they are in trouble. He is their entire team. Again, watch the Wizards game. They don't win that game against Washington if it's not for Wembanyama and the 50 points he puts up. Watch how different the Spurs play and how they did play on Saturday night without Wembanyama when they took on the Dallas Mavericks. They lose the game by 17 points. It's not a competitive game. But with Wembanyama, it gives them a chance to. Wemby alone gives them a chance to win, not just in terms of scoring. And obviously, his 3-point ball has continued to evolve and only continued to get better as he's continued his NBA career. But also in the glass as well, Wemby is such a presence. Obviously, being so tall, they lose their identity without Victor Wembanyama. They just do. And now they're taking on the best team in the NBA in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Even without Chet Holmgren, they're the best team in the NBA. I get it. They're coming off a loss to Dallas, and I was concerned, I'll be honest with you. I was very concerned with the Thunder in this game. Why? They don't have a center. They're playing the 6'6" Jalen Williams at center still, which Jalen Williams is going to give you his 100% effort, and he's going to try to give you the best game he can play, but he's 6'6". That against Victor Wembanyama is not a winning formula. However, there's no Wemby tonight for the Spurs. And again, you got to look at what the Spurs are going to be offering at center. It's going to be Zach Collins, who did lead them in points in that Dallas game. I don't think Zach Collins is able to take over this game like Wembanyama is. And also, I don't think he's able to take over this game to the point where, the Spurs are definitely going to stay in the ballgame because of the play of Zach Collins. It's not happening. OKC's the best team in basketball right now. We talk about their overall bench unit all the time. Isaiah Joe is not playing. That's fine. Enter Cason Wallace back in the starting lineup for tonight. They have so many guys who can just fill in. I'm not concerned at all with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a top 10 player in the NBA. He is one of the most consistent players in the NBA as well. He will continuously give you his 26 points a night. Give him the Oklahoma City Thunder to beat the San Antonio Spurs. They will go on the road and blow this team out. No Wembanyama, no victories for San Antonio. Let's go on to our nightcap. We go to the Crypto.com Center. We've got the Utah Jazz on the road against the Los Angeles Lakers. This is a complete beatdown. The Lakers are still yet to lose an in-season tournament game. They are the only team who can say that, obviously, being the champions last year of the IST. And so far this season, they are 1-0 in the in-season tournament with that victory over the San Antonio Spurs. They will now go to 2-0 in the in-season tournament with this victory over the Utah Jazz. Given the Lakers were given kind of an easy draw in the IST, their big game is next Tuesday against the Phoenix Suns. We'll see about that one. We'll see if Kevin Durant is back or not for that game. Something kind of, I don't know, I have a sneaking suspicion that Durant's going to magically come back for that game against the Lakers. We'll see. But Los Angeles is playing great basketball right now. They're on a five-game winning streak. Wins over the Sixers, Raptors, Grizzlies, Spurs, Pelicans. Now they get one of the poorest teams in the game, just in terms of skill, in the Utah Jazz. How did the Jazz really hurt the Lakers tonight? I don't know. I really don't. I think the Lakers absolutely dominate this game. Anthony Davis is going to continue to put up video game-like numbers because that's how good this guy is. And again, Anthony Davis is more than deserving to win the most valuable player of the year, or most valuable player award this season. He should. The guy's averaging 31 and 11 right now. He's playing insane basketball. Again, the passing of the torch has been made this season. It's Anthony Davis's team now, and LeBron's just here for the ride. And again, LeBron's going to do more than contribute, obviously, for this Lakers team, but it's AD's squad now. And the way JJ Redick has this Lakers team set up, with it being Anthony Davis's team, I'm all in. Austin Reeves is playing lights out. You know who's starting to find his footing? Dalton Connect off the bench as well, who is getting minutes now in the starting lineup as well. They've slid D'Angelo Russell to the bench. I absolutely love the move. I think it gives D'Lo hopefully his confidence back and let Dalton Connect shoot in the starting lineup. Of course, with Hachimura, with Reeves, with LeBron, and with Anthony Davis. The Utah Jazz right now just aren't that good. Walker Kessler, I think, is out for this game, which means John Collins is back in the starting lineup. Doesn't really hurt the Jazz too much. It gives them a lack of depth, though, at the center position. You got to force a guy like either Kyle Filipowski or likely Drew Eubanks to play for Utah tonight against the Lakers. The Lakers are just a better team, man. For once, since their championship run a couple seasons ago in 2020, it feels like the Lakers are true contenders again. It really feels that way, man. I think Los Angeles wins this game. They go to 10-4 in the season with a huge victory at home to go to 2-0 in the in-season tournament. They will beat the Utah Jazz, and they will cover, of course, by beating them by more than 10.5 points. Give me the Lakers to win in the nightcap again, remaining undefeated in the IST all time. And folks, thank y'all for watching our daily NBA predictions here for November 19th. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more for daily NBA predictions, and make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to join us for our college basketball predictions in an hour. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.